final agreement, leaders say, is aimed at injecting life into the world's listless economy, specifically through greater investment in infrastructure and the lowering of trade barriers. The goal, they say, is to boost global growth by at least 2% in the next 5 years. That roughly amounts to $2 trillion and millions of jobs.
This year, the G20 has delivered real, practical outcomes, and because of the efforts that the G20 has made this year, culminating in the last 48 hours, people right around the world are going to be better off, and that's what it's all about.
Leaders from the G20 nations had come under increasing pressure to take definitive action at this year's summit. But rights groups say they still want assurances that the world's poorest people will benefit from any new growth.
We're hearing of plans that are going to benefit a few people at the top and that will continue to leave the majority behind. That's unfortunate.
It's a sentiment echoed by China's President Xi Jinping, who said developing nations and emerging economies should have more say in international systems. Meanwhile, the summit also saw a series of bilateral and trilateral meetings, including the first in years between Australia, the US, and Japan. The three leaders recommitted themselves to, quote, deepening ties, including military cooperation. The White House says the meeting was not intended as a message to Beijing, just one day after the American president called for a greater role for China in the region. Barack Obama also met with his European counterparts to discuss additional possible action against Moscow. But before leaving Brisbane, the Russian leader Vladimir Putin warned Western sanctions would backfire.
The sanctions caused damage to everyone, to those on whom the sanctions were imposed, and on those who imposed the sanctions.